All right. This is a really fun time to be a skateboarder. Oh, I need a haircut. All right, $10 for everyone can come over and give me a haircut right now. We're making coffee. We have made coffee. All right, people. We need to talk. So this has been a kind of a crazy month for freestyle. It's been an exciting year, really, for freestyle. All of you who follow me, who are like regulars on the channel, I think a lot of you keep up with me on YouTube, on Instagram. Maybe you keep up with the forums. This in particular relates to the F forum, a freestyle skateboarding forum that was developed ages ago, back when I first started freestyling, and now exists on Facebook. I don't really go on much, but I've been on it a lot in the last few days. Now, freestyle is something that exists online with these videos that I create, my friends create, but it also exists largely in the events that take place around the world on a yearly basis. We have freestyle contests in the States, we have them in Canada, in Germany, in Japan, in Brazil, in Sweden, sometimes in Paris. We have them all over the place. We have a lot of people putting work into organizing events and doing a lot to grow freestyle that way. And they're really fun. One of my favorite things in the last 13 or 14 years I've been doing this is going to contests, meeting up with friends, talking trash, skating, and then eventually going out and doing my routines. You've watched these videos, you know I spend a lot of time working on those routines and practicing that stuff. I love it. Now we have those contests and we have people who maybe place first in the world at international contests, but we don't really have an overlying ranking system, sort of a blanket ranking system that encompasses all of the contests that happen throughout the year, and at the end of the year provide, rankings for who did the best overall. Now, in comparison, other organizations like Street League or the UK Vert Series offer a kind of worldwide ranking system at the end of the year for all the competitors. Basically, if you do really well at every contest, at the end of the year, you end up at the top of the rankings. And for some people, this might just stroke their ego. For others, this might be how they make their livelihoods. It's a metric that helps people gain sponsorship, and it does so much else for the community as a whole. But freestyle never had this. We've never really had a ranking system, and we've been growing a lot in the last 10 years. And with that, it's kind of time that, people start taking this into account. One person that actually did take up this, big responsibility of making a ranking system and trying to develop this was Tony Gale. Now, you probably know from past videos, I'm not the biggest fan of Tony Gale on the internet, but in person, we get along really well. I joke a lot on the internet about how we're arch nemesis and how we don't like each other, but no, Tony's cool. He's an intense dude, but he makes good stuff sometimes. So Tony made an international ranking system that takes all of those contests and basically grinds them down to a list of all of the top pros, AMs, and masters in freestyle who competed in a year. So for every person that you beat in a contest, you gain more points. So say I entered a contest and I got 5th place out of 10 people. So I will get points for all 4 people that I placed higher than in that contest. Now there are some modifiers in place, and this is where things get kind of complicated and where a lot of the argument comes into play, hence the title of this video. So one is AMs versus pros. Now, AMs receive fewer points for every person they beat in a contest, and pros in open contests receive fewer points for beating AMs. Does that make sense? If you're skating in a higher level contest and you're ranked as a pro, you shouldn't be getting buku points for skating better than an amateur. Of course you did. You're already in the pro division, right? But AMs are going to make more points when they beat pros because, heck yeah, if you're skating better than a pro and you're in the AM division, you should be ranked a bit higher, I think. But that only applies in open contests, right? The ones where AMs and pros are skating together. Competition run times are also factored in. So if you have a longer contest run, say a 2-minute run contest, you'll be making more points per victory, so per person you beat, than if you were skating in a 1-minute routine. Now the big argument right now is based on nationality. Now, from what I understand, based on this ranking system, for every person that you beat in a contest held in your home country, that is the country you were born in, you will receive half a point. Now, for every person that you beat in an international contest, you will receive 1 whole point. That is a contest held outside of your home nation, the place you were born. So let's say, for instance, I skated in a contest in Chicago, and I got 1st place in the contest out of, let's say, 9 people. I would receive 4 points because I beat 8 people. I get a half a point for each person I beat. In the end of the contest, I would have a ranking of, let's say I have 4 points to my name. On the flip side, a skateboarder from Chile or Bolivia or Canada comes to this contest and gets 5th place. That means they beat 4 people and got 5th place. we would be ranked the same at the end of the day. So this is a messy issue. This is something that's got a lot of people heated, a lot of people arguing online about like anything online. And it's something that I want to give you all of the details regarding so that you can make a educated decision and maybe learn more about the topic. So we're going to start with the reasons why Tony put this into place and why he thinks that we should have halved points for home country contests. The pros, in Tony's opinion, is that it incentivizes travel. It motivates people to get outside of their country to contests, which, if you have the means for it, is a way to get out and see more people and learn more and be a part of an international community. It also prevents contest stacking. If you are in a country where maybe there's a lot of funding for the freestyle community, you might find that the pros in that country, or the AMs in that country, the competitors as a whole, are ranking really, really high just because their nation is putting out a bunch of contests. This levels the playing field a bit and sort of gives the people who maybe have 1 or 2 contests a year in their country and can make it out to 1 or 2 contests internationally every year. It gives them a leg up against those people in nations where they might have 50 contests in a year. It also reduces the likelihood of national biases influencing the rankings every year. We've seen it in the past where a contest might favor a pro or an AM, and you end up with sort of people who are from that country always placing in the top 3. Hometown hype plays a huge role in the contests. Even when the judges themselves are judging fairly, you may end up seeing sort of the energy of the crowd influencing scores, or even just the hometown advantage, the home court advantage playing a role. It also prevents someone from organizing, 10 contests of their own in their, backyard and suddenly getting first place out of 5 people that show up. That's maybe not as realistic, but if I were to sort of start a contest in Long Beach and I had, 5 people show up 10 times, I would suddenly be ranked pretty well overall if I got full 1 points for every person I beat. This avoids that sort of cheating. Now that all sounds fine and dandy, right? Seems like it's fair, like, we don't want to have people cheating, but there are a lot of reasons why people are really unhappy with this format and with this judging system. Now, one major argument is funds. People just don't really have the means to get to a lot of international contests. And at the end of the day, we have to keep that in mind and realize that some amazing skateboarders and really talented professionals and amateurs in the scene are just not going to have the means to get to events. I've been that for ages, where I just could only get to maybe 1 contest. Another issue is expats. We have a lot of people who have emigrated from their home country and compete in these contests regularly. People like Ryan Brunelson, a Canadian expat who now lives in Vancouver, and Daniel Greschner, who was a German who now lives in the UK, both regularly compete in Canadian and German events, respectively. They're big contests for freestyle, and it's hard to say if they still have that hometown hype and they have a bias towards their skating in their home country. Gresh, for instance, has been living in the UK for some time now, and he didn't place well in Paderborn being the big German contest that happened last year. There's also sort of a defeatist mentality with freestylers often, and with any competitors in a sport, I think. When it seems like the chips are stacked against you, it's difficult to find yourself wanting to enter a contest. I mean, why play a game if you're destined to lose, right? Some people might come into this and see the ranking system as a barrier of entry. If the only way to become a ranked freestyle skateboarder is to travel across the world and skate in a foreign country, then why even freestyle at all? Well, I don't think that's the case at all, and I think that a ranking system is really a tiny little fragment of what freestyle skateboarding is. I can understand why that might be a reason to avoid ranking competitors like this. I don't really care about contest rankings. I've had my time to win contests. I cried when I won the World Roundup in Vancouver, and since then I realized they don't matter. Honestly, at the end of the day, what matters about these events is that we're all getting together and there's a family mentality with contests. If you've seen any of my competition wrap-up videos, you know that when we all get together, when I get to see Tony or Sean Burke or Connor or Brett or anybody at these contests, it's kind of like a family reunion. And just like at your Thanksgiving dinner, we like to bicker a lot about things like ranking systems because we care about each other. It's because we care about the growth of the community and the health of the scene. And while I don't really think that contests are that important and a ranking system really doesn't mean that much to anyone's individual participation in the sport, a ranking system overall adds legitimacy to skateboarding as a sport, right? We're getting close to the 2020 Olympics and we have skateboarding really doing big things and growing in big ways. A ranking system could help incentivize people to travel to contests, but it could also provide legitimacy that allows people to get sponsorships, personal sponsorships for contest travel. Or it could even help contests themselves gain sponsorship to help make the contest better. Rankings are metrics that help freestyle be more understandable to people outside of skateboarding. And while metrics can be kind of gross and feel kind of corporate and sleazy to people, I don't know, I don't want to get businessy with everybody, but it can be important and really helpful overall to us. So at the end of the day, we all need to be on the same page, come together to agree with how we're going to be ranked as competitors and be happy with the outcome, right? At least a little happy, even if we have to compromise. So let me know what you think about this. Take a look at the F forum. I'll have all the links below to the different feeds and threads regarding this issue and this ranking system so that you can make an assessment of your own and let me and my friends and all of us know what you think. Get involved if you're a freestyler, be a part of this because it might apply to you in the future and help us make what we do fair for everybody. This is the first video I've really scripted out in a long time, and I want it to be as kind of clear and concise about everything that's going on with freestyle right now. There's so much else. I'll be doing probably more of these sit-down videos with you, but if you sat through all of this and you feel like you've been robbed, here's some skating. I guess. I don't know. This is your cookie for eating your medicine. Keep dancing.
Come on, you need to do this.
No, man. I don't know about that.